Today we're going to be talking about passion projects, and I'm really excited about it. So, the passion project is something where you get to take your own ideas, create your project, and create your own timeline for finishing your goals that you set for yourself. Why do a passion project over the summer? Well, they say if you don't have goals, you're basically shooting arrows into the sky and you'll aim at nothing and you won't really accomplish anything and you won't learn anything new. So, if you have no goals over the summer, nothing gets done, and by the end of the summer, you probably feel a little bored and dissatisfied. Even if you've entertained yourself, you're not going to feel true joy and satisfaction. So, specific goals and a timeline, even if you're working on things that you're just excited about doing and nobody's making you do something, you're learning, you're pursuing your interests, you're getting good at something, and you're growing, which actually causes you to feel excited and not bored. So, why I usually don't give summer packets, but I do encourage kids with summer reading and creative projects. I believe our brains really need rest and we need to recharge them over the summer. I know I personally have a million ideas in September about school and about how I'm going to teach things and how everything's going to go. And by the time May comes around, I have such a hard time thinking of new ideas and being able to come up with things that I think kids will really enjoy in school. And I think part of that is because my brain gets tired after the whole year of putting forth so much effort. So we need to rest, we need to recharge. That's part of why. Another thing is that reading, I love to be able to have time for pleasure reading in the summer, and I want that for you as well. The studies show that kids and adults who read for pleasure learn so much more and are more successful in school. And you need that time to do that. And so I love using summer as an opportunity to read for pleasure, to grow, to read about things that you're interested in. Also, doing a creative project helps you to grow, helps you to learn new skills, and it's super fun. And I want you to have fun and come back to school energized, especially during the time of COVID-19. We could really, really fall into a hole of just entertaining ourselves passively and being bored and not learning anything. But doing a creative project could give you energy and make you excited. Um, I'm currently rereading a book that I read a couple years ago that's called Creating Innovators. I love this book. And I won't go into the whole thing, but what it basically is about is they're interviewing, it's researchers that interviewed 7 different people who are world changers and inventors and innovators in the world. And they're finding out what makes those people tick and what was it about their childhoods that helped them grow up to be these super creative people that created amazing things. One of the people they interview is Kirk Phelps, who invented the iPhone, which, you guys probably don't remember a time without an iPhone, but it was a huge innovation at the time. So, this is what Kirk says about his childhood. I was always experimenting. I saw what school was offering, but I was wondering how I could improve it and augment and enhance it. I was always tinkering. He also said, knowing how to find those things you are interested in is way, way more important than the specific things you study. And I think that's true. If you learn how to pursue your interests and set goals, you're going to be unstoppable. So, when they interviewed his parents, Kirk Phelps' dad said, when they weren't doing school, our kids had a lot of outside unstructured time. A child has to get bored before he can figure out how to get himself out of boredom. Our kids spend a lot of time outdoors making things, kicking balls, climbing trees. And he's contrasting this with having super duper duper structured time where you never have downtime because you're always at basketball practice and music lessons and this and that, and all of your time is structured. So, this dad of a very famous innovator believes that having unstructured time and allowing your kids to get bored every once in a while is actually good. And his advice to parents over the summer is don't just entertain them, but help them discover what they are truly intrinsically interested in and motivated by. So that's what I want you guys to do. I want you to figure out what you're truly interested in, what motivates you, and then pursue that this summer. And so Kirk's dad said it's different when you can pick something up that you've chosen and move at your own pace. Kirk learned to trust and follow his instincts, perhaps one of the most important qualities of an innovator. So, boredom, it can be a bad thing, it can be a good thing. Sometimes it's a real motivator. And if you don't have a little bit of time in your life to daydream and to not be entertained by something, you might never come up with your best ideas. So even though boredom seems like a bad thing, having 5 or 10 minutes a day where you're not doing anything and you're just thinking your thoughts might actually be good. So, why do a passion project over the summer rather than during the school year? And I think the main thing is because you have open ended time. You have less pressure, you have an ability to finish something that you set for yourself, and you can do things or learn things as thoroughly as you'd like to or as quickly as you'd like to. And it's self directed, and being self directed is such an awesome skill to have in your life and to go into your adulthood with. So, for this project, the first step is to brainstorm. And I gave you a brainstorming template. Some of you guys have done this already. You're basically writing a list of your favorites in the first column. So that could be ideas, activities, physical things. You know, some people wrote basketball, some people wrote singing. Maybe their favorite thing is helping out in the yard or building stuff. You're going to write down the list of your favorites, then make a list of things that make you wonder, including things you'd like to learn more about or questions that you have about the world. Then make a list of something new. If you could invent a new class at school, what would it be? If you have an idea for a new song or a new video game or a new product, go ahead and write those down. Then look at your 3 columns and narrow it down. What are your top 2 choices from the list that you made above? And that's what you'll make your project on. So here are some action verbs to get you thinking. You might want to pause the video right here and go ahead and read through these. The verbs that make my heart beat faster are photograph, design, sing. Let's see what else. Not dance. I'm not very good at it. Journal. That's something I like to do. Drawing and writing are things that I really like to do. So I'd go through and I'd look at these verbs and choose something. So once you have your idea, kind of a general idea of what you are interested in, your second step is to find resources. So you can look on YouTube. You can just Google things. And you can also look for a book that could teach you. So if you have something really specific, like I really want to learn how to play guitar, you can get a book with guitar chords in it. If you are like, I really want to be able to draw a human face realistically, you might want to go and get a book that has how to draw a human eye and that has like drawing exercises, and find YouTube videos and tutorials from artists that you like. You also might want to find a mentor, which is somebody who can help you along the process. This might be trickier during COVID, but if you have family members you're seeing, maybe you have an uncle who builds cabinets and he's very good with woodworking and you really wanted to learn how to build a table, you could even do this over FaceTime or over Zoom. You could be working on your building project, then call up your uncle and say, hey, can I FaceTime you and you look at what I'm doing? I have a problem here. Can you show me where you think I might be going wrong and give me some suggestions? Sometimes having a person who knows more about a particular subject than you do can help you with that. Or if you wanted to learn um, deep sea fishing and your dad used to do it when he was younger, say, hey, Dad, let's go out and we're going to go fishing together. Whatever it is, if there's somebody, you might or might not have somebody in your life that can help you with that, but if there's somebody that can mentor you, go ahead and reach out to them and put them on your schedule. So the third step is to come up with a project overview or a timeline. So in this one, you're going to write down the goal that you have that you brainstormed and be really specific about how you're going to pursue that goal for the summer and what you're going to spend the 6 weeks doing, learning, or creating. Write down your 3 resources that you found, or maybe you have more resources than that. So a YouTube series, a book, and a mentor. Write down those. And then you're going to want to set small goals so that you can measure your progress. So I have an overview here, just a little snippet of a girl who wanted to learn how to play guitar so that she could perform a song for her mom's birthday. Her goal for the summer was to spend 6 weeks learning to play guitar. She measured it out by weeks. So week number 1, she was going to learn the basics of how to use a guitar and record her learning in progress. Week 2, she's going to learn how to strum the strings and how rhythm works and record her learning. So she found an app that was called the Fender app. And then she also found a YouTube tutorial about strumming a guitar. She used that week too, learning how to strum the strings and how rhythm worked and practicing that. Weeks 3 and 4, she learned how to play 5 common chords and she recorded her learning. Weeks 5 and 6, she learned how to play an entire song and recorded that learning. And it should be noted, she didn't write this down here, but there was 30 minutes of practice every day. So it wasn't a huge time commitment, but there was about 5 minutes of watching YouTube or looking at her app, 30 minutes of practice, and maybe a goal of 1 or 2 chords a week that she would learn from her chord book. So I hope that's helpful. Here are a couple student examples that people have already chosen in the 5th grade class. So Gabriel's going to be doing some trading cards, kind of like Pokemon cards, but with superheroes that he draws himself. And he's coming up with some sort of a point system he hasn't figured out yet. So that's going to be a goal one of his weeks. It's figuring out how is the game going to be played, and is there a point value for each card. He's also going to be working on a clubhouse building project with his dad. So he'll be learning how to work with wood, how to frame a building, how to use tools, which will be cool. Chelsea's going to be working on sewing. She's already learned how to sew a scrunchie, and now she's going to be moving on to some clothing items. Gianna's learning some new tricks on her scooter and working on YouTube videos. And she's going to set a goal of how many new YouTube videos she wants to put on her channel about teaching kids how to do tricks on the scooter. For my personal goals, I'm going to finish the children's book that I started 3 years ago, and I am setting aside an hour every single day to be working on my artwork and to be listening to a certain podcast about children's book creation and what publishers are looking for. I'm also going to set aside 30 minutes a day to learn drumming, because it's something I've always wanted to learn, and we have a drum set and I've never learned. So I'm going to do that. My daughter Autumn's writing 6 songs this summer because she took a songwriting class this year and is excited about continuing to grow using what she's already learned. My son Joshua is learning how to make little mini skateboards, kind of like tech decks, out of wood. And he's started on these, and he's been sanding them and creating them. And so his goal is to create 60 wooden fingerboards this summer and a custom tech deck skate park that he's making out of foam and cement. So I cannot wait to see what you guys are going to create. And I'm not going to be monitoring this summer, but I am hoping that everybody does it. So just in a quick nutshell, I want you each to come up with a plan and a timeline for completing a summer project or learning a new skill. Last week's assignment was simply about brainstorming, and this week you'll be working on finding your resources, so your books, videos, and people who can help you. You're going to be writing those down. You are also going to be coming up with a weekly plan that will help you to accomplish your goal. I won't be monitoring your summer projects. I won't be grading them, but I will be grading the brainstorming and planning assignments. So if someone says, I really want to learn the guitar this summer, for example, but they don't have a plan, they might only pick up the guitar once a week and they won't really become proficient in it. But in contrast, if that same person watched a YouTube video every day about strumming for 5 minutes, learned 5 new chords a week from the Book of Guitar Chords, and practiced for 30 minutes a day for 6 weeks, that person would be able to play at least 20 songs by the end of the summer. So once you come up with your plan, if you're bored enough or if you're excited enough about your project, you will have the tools and the resources and the structure already in place to help you accomplish your goals. So good luck.